What is up, gamers? Welcome to Simply Sims. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into a new world together. On today's episode of the 30-day Create a Sim Challenge, we are doing a legit base game only sim, meaning we are only using clothes, accessories, features, traits, or at least trying to use only from base game, no DLC Sims. So I tried to remember what we kind of started off with traits and aspirations when we first got the game. To be honest, I do not remember, but I know that we've had the family oriented one for so long, or like the social one for so long. So I went with that. For traits, I forgot exactly which ones actually have the are from base game, so I just went with the most basic ones I could remember, and I think it was Bros, which I think now it actually came from Discover University. And then I did Loves Outdoors and Glutton. I think those were all base game only. And we are making a male sim today. I know I struggle with that, so I'm challenging myself again to make a male sim, and just going through and making sure we have all of the filters on for the clothing so that we don't get it messed up later. Again, kind of just doing a healthier, non-gray skin color. Again, I could do dark skinned Sims. However, I just feel like they have a very weird purple gray to them as well. So that's typically why I don't make those or represent those skin tones quite yet. Once I find a kind of tone that I like, I will start using that more. But just for now, they look very gray and look very purple, and I don't want my Sims to look like that. So I did want to give him a little bit of some body hair. I wanted him to have a little bit tone of a body. I'd say maybe he's like the neighborhood, maybe not the neighborhood dad, but the neighborhood like bachelor who is a bit seldom to himself, but he offers help to anybody who needs it, or anything like that. Maybe he's pretty kind, he's just very shy, would much rather live alone, he has a lot of anxiety, something of the sort in those terms. So that is kind of my lore that I wanted to have for him a little bit. I didn't want him to be super like what's like camp leader. So I kind of went more with the turn of cowboy, in the sense of like the good heart, the caring nature, the wanting to help, things like that. And that's kind of where my brain sat for him. And so we have Freddie here. He is a rancher. With a glorious beard, but he is bald, so we keep that hat on quite often. As for his attire, I did want to keep it kind of like suits and cowboy boots in that sense, or like just really nice dressy clothes with cowboy boots, and then of course some like really interesting earrings. I was gonna do this full green beard, and I think I go back and change, but if I don't, I wanted him to have like, you know what, maybe he's a little on the fruitier side. He likes to take advantage of both opportunities of love that he can get. And so I had him dye his beard and his eyebrows green because he does not have hair on his head. Then I realized that it made his whole body hair green, and I had to go back through and like pick a hair color for his body. And I think I rested on like a lighter brown, because blonde made it look like he had lines. I felt like brown kind of sat better into his skin or against his skin, and it wasn't so noticeable, but it was still kind of like there's hair. And so I kept it as he just dyed only his mustache and his eyebrows, and I think he'll dye only his mustache and his eyebrows from now on. And then I gave him a werewolf bite on his arm as a scar. Maybe it's not from a werewolf, maybe he's been attacked by an animal before, a big one, and it left a scar, but he was able to fight it off and survive. And then just matching some nails to his skin as well to give it more of a human uh, feel to it, because you know we have nails, but the Sims nails are very one-dimensional. And then, like I said, I do put him in more of like a dressier cowboy attire. I gave him that silver chain, and I try to keep him in vests or button-down shirts quite often. So, um, as far as shoes, I do have him only wearing two different pairs of shoes. They're both styles of cowboy boots. One is the high top cowboy boots, and then the other ones are more like ankle length. And he does switch between those depending on his outfit. So you will see that shuffled in here now. I did want to make sure that his boots do match his belt, and that was kind of my focus. And then his hat kind of matches his color scheme on his shirt. I think I did it pretty well. Let me know what you guys think. I tried to keep it as consistent as I could, but I know it doesn't always translate through all the time. So let me know how you guys feel about it. And I was gonna give him some tattoos, but I decided to not, only because there wasn't a lot to give him. And then I was like, okay, well, I could give him like body features, like, other than scars, I could give him like a birthmark or something of the sort. And I didn't really like that because I realized that I didn't like the werewolf bite on his arm either. And so I wanted to change it. And then I just ended up leaving it off because I could not decide. um, and then I gave him a watch, help keep track of time. He's very old school. He doesn't have a pocket watch, but he does have a watch that he wears almost every day. And that is how he makes sure that he's on time. He's always resetting it. He's very into having clocks on him, on his person, so that he can know what time it is wherever he is. And he doesn't have to ask. And here we are kind of figuring out those boots. I wanted to keep the hat but give it a different color, maybe do black, and I didn't like how that looked. So I went with the darker brown, and I tried to see if there was like a darker brown within the suit. And I did like it. I did like the one that came up, so I think that that was perfect. And for athletic, I went for more of like a t-shirt and shorts. I know that or not I know, but I feel like he very much is the type of person to, what is the word? He's the type of person to, loosen up a little bit when it comes to athletics. So he's going to wear those cargo shorts. He's not going to necessarily wear a vest or a button up outside. But he will wear some type of high top. He feels more secure in a high top shoe, so we have those lace up sneakers. And then for bedtime, I just gave him a tank top and some of the basic pants. I was going to give him slippers, but I don't like how the Sims look with slippers, and so I took them off, and then I took off his accessories because he's going to bed. Maybe he just puts in these little earrings during the night so that he can sleep and it's not a skeleton claw hurting his ear at night. For his party attire, I wanted to do a little bit differently than what we have for everyday and formal, but something in between the two, obviously. And I think I went with a little bit looser. I was gonna do this like beautiful, loose kind of formal top, but I didn't like any of the colors that came with it. And so I thought maybe we could do like a t-shirt with a suit jacket over. And the only one that I could find was really, again, a button up. And so we just make a nicer outfit out of this. It's a little bit more relaxed. I do like that the blue comes through, and I thought about doing the pinstripe blue pants, but I felt like that was a little too much blue and we were losing the brown, and I didn't know how to tie it back. So I just did the brown pants, and then accommodated the boots and hat. For swimwear, we have basic trunks, and for hot, I wanted to do more relaxed again with like a t-shirt or something of the sort, maybe like a lighter button up. And I found this beige button up with um, the embroidery on it, and then I gave him blue jeans and some of the lower um, boots that he's been wearing throughout each of the outfits. Fixed up his accessories because, again, when they are randomly generated by EA, they always have some interesting little things in there. As you can see, he has ski goggles on. And what else? For his for his cold, I wanted to do one of those like leather jackets with the fur like um top around it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but um the fur, not accessory, but the fur like half neckline. I don't even know what it's called. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. But I wanted to do that just because I wanted him to have more of a country western style for cold, but not put him in one of those ski suits. But here we are for Mr. Helton, our base game sim, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let you guys read out his story a little bit, but here's to Freddy. Simulation over, but the fun never stops on SIMplieSims. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Subscribe. Bye.